We have imported a few things up to this point, but I really want to make sure we have a good understanding of what packages and modules are so we can then focus on best practices. A package is a directory with modules. This can have any number of subpackages and any number of modules. A module is just a Python file. Modules can have any number of functions, classes, or variables. Importing allows you to access code from another module so you can use it. You can do this with the import statement that you've been using already. Now, there are 3 different sources where you can import from. Built-in packages. This would be like the random package that generates random things like numbers. You can import from packages you yourself create. We did this in the previous chapter when you imported a module into your test file. And you can import from external packages. These are packages and libraries you can install from developers all around the world. PyTest is a package that a team of people built and offered online for free. We were able to install this package and use it in our code. There are many others like TensorFlow for machine learning, Selenium for web automation, Fast API for websites, and thousands more. Importing and leveraging existing packages is a great way for us to share and collaborate with other developers all around the world. It saves you a lot of headache because you don't have to reinvent the wheel if someone already solved it. We call this open source development, and it's something you should seriously consider to boost your resume and portfolio. Importing and open source development are amazing, but there are no-nos and best practices as you create your packages and modules. First off, don't execute functions in a module outside of the main block. In Chapter 2, when we needed to execute challenge 1, we did so by putting it into this fancy-looking if name equals main block. This block is specifically built to avoid problems. What problems, you ask? Well, something very important to know is that whenever you import a module, the entire file is executed. Keep this in mind because this will cause weird errors or behaviors if you forget to use the main block. Check out this example. On the left-hand side, I have a regular Python file with some imports and functions, but I also have a variable that executes the input function on line 5. On the right-hand side, I have a test file that is testing these functions. When I execute tests, I get an error telling me that I can't use the input function in tests. I get this error because I'm importing the module, and input enter a number, again line 5, is being executed even though I'm not calling or using it in my test file. Put this into a main block and all these problems go away. Do not import an entire module as a wildcard. There are 2 main reasons. As a reader of the code, I don't know which functions belong to the add numbers module and which ones don't. As a user of the code, I don't get any IntelliSense from PyCharm on which functions and variables I have access to from add numbers. Basically, everything is hidden from me and I won't get any help from my IDE. It's almost always better to be clear and explicit, but there are multiple ways to do that. You can explicitly include which functions, classes, or variables you want to import from a module, as shown here. You can import the entire module from the package. Look how I now get a helpful menu from PyCharm. Or you can import the entire module and use an alias to give it a better name. I still get IntelliSense, but now I can say numbers.add or numbers.isEven. Any of these options are better than using the unclear wildcard. And last guideline, Do import as much as you want, but only what you need. Be a minimalist when importing and as you code. You can import as many things as you want, but only keep what you really need and clean up the rest. This goes for basically everything in programming, but clean up what you aren't using. PyCharm will turn statements and variables gray if they're not being used. Remember, a clean codebase is a happy codebase. Now let's get to some challenges.